Story 27. The Ten Commandments and God's Covenant with His People. Exodus 21:24-18. At Mount Sinai, God spoke to the Israelites, giving them His holy laws, called the Ten Commandments. The mountain was covered in smoke and fire, and the sound of a trumpet grew louder as God's voice thundered. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make idols or worship them. You shall not covet anything that belongs to your neighbor. When the people heard God's voice, they were afraid and said to Moses, "Speak to us yourself, and we will listen. But do not have God speak to us, or we will die." Moses reassured them, "Do not be afraid. God has come to test you so that you will fear Him and not sin." The covenant confirmed. God gave Moses many more laws to guide the Israelites in living as His holy people. These laws taught them how to worship, care for one another, and remain faithful to God. Moses built an altar at the foot of the mountain and set up 12 stone pillars representing the 12 tribes of Israel. Young men offered sacrifices, and Moses sprinkled the blood on the altar and the people, saying, "This is the blood of the covenant that the Lord has made with you." Then Moses, Aaron, and 70 elders of Israel went up the mountain and saw God's glory. Under His feet was something like a pavement of sapphire, as clear as the sky. They ate and drank in God's presence, amazed by His holiness and love. God's instructions for the tabernacle. God called Moses higher up the mountain and gave him detailed instructions to build the tabernacle, a sacred tent where His presence would dwell among His people. The tabernacle would have the Ark of the Covenant, containing the stone tablets of the Ten Commandments, a golden lampstand and an altar for incense, symbolizing prayer, a table for bread, reminding them of God's provision. Moses stayed on the mountain for 40 days and nights, listening to God and receiving the laws written on stone tablets. Meanwhile, the Israelites waited below Reflection for children. God's laws help us live in peace and harmony with Him and others. The Ten Commandments are like a guide to show us how to love God and our neighbors.